Welcome to another episode of the Football Weekly Podcast. I'm your host or your co-host, Reginald Dino, alongside my longtime co-host, Mr. What do we call you? Joey Stats? Jorginho?
Mr. Here and There, I guess you can call me now.
we're all here,
sometimes I'm there. So
we're all here and there, Joe. We're all here and there. This is our first episode of the new year. Took a kind of extended break, if you want to call it that, but we should be back weekly. Maybe we need to change the show, Joe, to Football Monthly or Football Yearly or something.
Yeah, if it's with me, it's Football Maybe.
It's maybe for all of us, Joe. It's maybe for all of us. Guys, there's so much to talk about, so much to get into between our teams, between being in a transfer market window right now, between a new hire at TFC, between how is Man City getting away with this, between terrible refereeing decisions and those decisions being upheld by some way and miracle. But I think we're going to start off in the EPL, Joe. The race is crazy. It should be done. If you're asking me as an Arsenal fan who is in second place right now, I think it's done. Where you're going to make up all those points to catch that surging Liverpool team, I have no idea. But big game yesterday, Joe. Big game yesterday. Liverpool took on Ipswich and they beat them 4-1. So Arsenal had to keep pace. And there was a very controversial, I'd say, red card in that game.
So I was watching the games here and there. Always more fun to watch footy.
It's not your team, of course.
Yeah, and if you don't understand that, maybe we'll sit down and talk about it. But let's deal with the easy one. Easy one is Liverpool. They're clicking. They're absolutely clicking on all cylinders. I talked to you on the phone about this. I said, you know what? I don't know. Maybe he is getting a lot of plaudits and a lot of love. But Cody Gakpo he impressed me a lot at the Euros. That's why I think the Netherlands are really a interesting team for me. But Cody Gakpo impressed me a lot at the Euro. And he's continued to do that. He's always on the score sheet. He's creating stuff. I really like his game. So, I don't know. They look good. I think he bagged the brace too.
Yeah.
Cody Gakpo is playing a certain level. I think their midfield is doing really well too. Soboslai, what have you. So, I think that's like the regular old hum that Liverpool is just humming along. Obviously, your team is hit a little bit with the injury bug. And so, not a little bit, a lot. But how about this? I'm watching the game. So he's not going to send them off. Sent off. Michael Oliver.
Didn't even cross my mind that it could be a red. Didn't even cross my mind it could have been a red.
Yeah, because sometimes like, oof, oh no. And then it comes red and you see the VAR, you see the replay. You're like, okay, I get it. His studs came up. He was over the ball. But this is not because, Reggie's an Arsenal fan and I'm just trying to be nice. That's never a red card. It's never in a consideration. It's even worse that VAR looks at that and doesn't see that as an error. That's my bigger issue.
Yeah. It's more concerning that Michael Oliver makes a mistake, sees it differently on the field, no problem, gives a red. Somebody in VAR says, you know what? It might not be as bad as you thought it was. Go check it out on the monitor. But to have someone sit there and say, yeah, you know what? We're going to keep it as a red. You're right. After watching it 10, 15 times at every different angle, you're right. It's concerning. It's very, very, very concerning.
His angle looked like he was clear. So, but that's one issue. I don't know how he sees that as red. But that's, like you said, that's one issue, but not the greater one in a VAR world.
That's right.
Just to repeat again, you're not looking at that saying, hey, correct me if I'm wrong here. Because you can say to the ref, go take a look. I think you might have made a mistake. He or she could still say, no, I'm good. I'm good with it. We have this idea that whenever they go to the monitor, they're going to overturn or going to go with what's suggested. But no, they're suggesting, right, Reggie, this is how I interpret this. Yeah. They're supposed to go take a look. The final decision still lies with the official in the middle on the field.
Of course.
The fact that it never even got looked at.
It's ridiculous, Joe.
It's alarming. And then, it's not then I feel for you guys because, and I know other fans and other people watching our show be like, oh, bollocks, rubbish. I'm thinking of one in particular who used to be on our show. But this is not just say, let's gang up on everybody and let's make Reggie happy for the pod. Because guess what, guys? It would be better for our podcast if me and you were yelling about this in the opposite direction. Yeah. So I just couldn't believe that I was watching it saying, no, that's not a red. It's not. It's never a red.
Joe, I'll repeat it again. It didn't even cross my mind that it would be a red. I looked at it and I was like, oh, good foul. I've done it in games we've played in. I've done that.
Yeah, maybe a yellow. Like, I guess if you're saying
100%, 100% it's a yellow.
But to be fair, it's maybe a yellow. It is. It's a yellow.
No, it's a yellow. It's a yellow. 100% it's a yellow.
But sometimes in the Premier League, that's not a yellow. In Serie A, that's a yellow every day of the week.
It depends who's playing, who's reffing. Yeah. There's a lot of things that matters. Who gets reds, who gets yellows, what happens. That's scary. Honestly, and to have one of our best players, he's only 18 years old, and he's still probably one of the breakout kids of the season for our team. And just to have him being suspended for the next 3 games, it's City, Newcastle, and I think West Ham. We have
that surely can't be 3. That's got to be 1 or 1.
No, it's serious. It's serious foul play. It's going to be 3 games. It's going to be 3 games, and the next game's against City.
That's
it's Joe. If people are going to look at me and you're going to say, "Oh, Reggie, come on, it's not that." It is that, Joe. The next game's against City, and we have already a depleted lineup. Now, one of our best players that came through this whole depletion, like the best story that came through all these injuries, he's going to be out as well. So I don't know, Joe. You're going to look at me and say it's not a conspiracy. It's not Michael Oliver's not trying to get rid of this guy for the City game. Joe, he is. He is. No, I'm serious. I don't know what else to say now.
For me, like, I've always stood by this. There's no, even if he was suspended and you're playing whoever, it's just it's an important player on the field. Oh, any player is, right? A player on the field that won't be there when you're going to need it. Any game, every game, it's proven every game is hard. Every game is hard. So it's a really tough one. If we want to look at,
I don't get it.
Getting a 1-0 win, 1-0 win in a tough place like that is even sweeter, I would say too. Then, right? Because that's a key. That's a moment where you could really lose that. You had a horrible call against you. You're like, okay, you're down a man, and for a while until it was evened up. And you're like, okay, we don't get out of here. And then you get out of there with a 1-0, character win, if you will. It's a character win, really.
It is, Joe, but we shouldn't be in that position to have to get that out.
But I do think an Arsenal team 2 years ago doesn't get this win. I'm going to be honest.
Down a man?
In that situation with a lot of I think it shows it's so hard because it's the toughest league in the world, and every team, like, look at Nottingham Forest. Every team can pose you problems, and people say, this should have been the year that Arsenal challenged. Well, hold on a sec. Mm-hmm. You got the 3 most consistent teams in the Premier League in the last little while have easily been Man City, Liverpool, and Arsenal. I think that's clear. So to say they haven't, because I heard this argument and I didn't believe it, said they haven't matured and haven't progressed, and they should have been going for the title this year. I think that's garbage. I really do. I think so. For me, in this year and what's happened with them, to get this win, I think shows a lot, because we're not just watching this, Reggie. Especially you, when you watch your own team, we watch it 24/7, 365, and we're all in, and it's tough. But as an outsider watching a little bit, I said, that's a big win for them. So after the incident, then I was following after. I got to watch the game after, but I was following it on my phone. I said, wow, that's a big win for them. So I know it's hard because Arsenal fan, you now have a greater expectation, but it's what people were accusing Arsenal of not being able to do before.
Yeah.
You guys are always you're soft.
Yeah,
soft Arteta teams. They don't have the grit. They don't have the
the cojones.
Yeah, it's not for the Premier League. They don't have that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking too. I said, this is what happened, and we criticized him before, but he's showing a little bit worth the money actually. And I think this goes underrated. I was going to ask you because I don't know how it goes, and then we'll move on from Arsenal. But how it goes in Arsenal forums and fan pages, and you're up on that social. Declan Rice.
Yeah,
Declan Rice is a model of that toughness. So I think now you appreciate him more, and you say, okay, maybe this is what the hype was about.
Well, I'll admit, and even when we had our shows when we were talking about 110 million for him, and I was even like, that's way too much. It's only because he's English and blah 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 blah. But now that you get to watch him day in day out, you kind of understand now.
He's steady.
A player like that is what he costs, what he does.
Steady performer. I don't know. You tell me if when the check marks don't bounce. Steady performer, great leadership.
Mm-hmm.
He's there all the time, isn't he? Doesn't miss
always
games.
Injured. He's playing. And he's playing like you wouldn't even know he was injured. I think he broke his toe or something like that. You would never know.
I mean, but, in my opinion, with all due respect for Martin Odegaard, is he not?
I listen. I was shocked when he was named captain too, but I mean, he was there before Rice came in,
and I do like Odegaard. By the way,
I like Odegaard as well. He's having a rubbish season so far. I think he's injured.
Yeah,
but, I like him too, but I mean, it was kind of a quick draw to give him the captaincy. But I'm not complaining that he's the captain or not or whatnot. But I mean, someone like Declan Rice.
And we don't know what goes on every day in training.
Of course, we're not in the dressing room. We don't know how he is there and stuff like that. So
it's kind of a mea culpa thing, I think, for me, Declan Rice. I'm like, wow, okay, he showed me. So, and again, this is not just me saying Arsenal. I just gave a lot of love to Liverpool, and I highlighted a guy that actually, if you say that type of, if I'm giving love to Gakpo, just to flip pages, I guess Gravenberch has been amazing for them, like really good. Again, though, from that Dutch national team. So I don't know. For me, Reggie, I know we'll move on from that. We spent some time on it, but yikes with Michael Oliver. You're not surprised. I know Arsenal fans are not surprised.
Not at all, Joe.
But as a neutral, I see that's really that scary moment for you guys. But the flip side, to find a way says a lot. Again, you're going against a team like this is the year where Liverpool is just clicking. I think if it was 5-6 points, Reggie, I'd say, okay, it's still there. But, I mean, anyway.
It's 6 now, but they have a game in hand, which they're probably going to win. So it's actually 9. You had opportunities to catch up on points, and you drew and lost and all of that stuff. So, I mean, to kill off the Liverpool talk, I need to ask you a question. So what you're saying is that anybody can coach this team then, right? I'm being serious. I'm being serious.
And so am I. Okay, I'll play devil's advocate, or I don't know.
Okay.
But Klopp was a great coach. Maybe Arne Slot's a great coach too.
But so anyone can coach that Liverpool team then, right?
I don't believe that. I just think that they did a great job in recruit. I've been very impressed by Arne Slot. Not just how they played. I've listened to him talk. I'm being honest here. I really I like listening to his press conferences. I think he speaks logically. I think the way he handles things is pretty impressive. Like, it's very impressive. It just goes to show you, Reg, that there's a lot of great managers out there. Like, he took over Liverpool, right?
Easy job.
Right? And he came from a team that, like, these are usually moves, correct me if I'm wrong, that they're made at the level of maybe the lower teams in the Premiership.
Yeah.
But like a team that, like, maybe a team in Serie A would do this. Get a person who's just had done very well in the Eredivisie, or done very well in Portugal, or and France and Liga, and then just slowly gets there. But I mean, I knew you were going to say that at one point, but I do believe he's a really good manager too.
So anybody can coach them then. Any good manager can coach Liverpool. I'm just saying, it's fine.
Listen, I think Arne Slot would come in and do a good job at Arsenal? Yes. Do I think Arne Slot would do a good job at Chelsea? City? Yes.
They wouldn't be in first.
He's a good manager.
They wouldn't be in first place, Chelsea. But
well, listen, to be fair to Jurgen Klopp, I think there's a bit. I'm talking about this. I know your favorite, but a manager, in this day and era, or this day and age, in this era, I think burnout is a big thing.
It's huge.
It's a real thing, and I think of Jurgen Klopp. Like, you're a Liverpool legend. He could have had a couple of, not always, because he could have had a year where they really fell off, and they did for a bit last year, and then regained a bit of momentum and finished a bit stronger. But I think burnout is a big thing. It's a real thing in managing, and I think that even if you are managing a top club, I mean, look at what's happened to your favorite manager, right? So I think it's real. Pep Guardiola. I think it's a real thing, but I know you said this too, and you made a joke about it with Liverpool Logan about anybody being able to manage this group. But I just think he's a really good manager, Reggie. I think anybody would be happy to have him. That's my point.
Allegri's a fantastic manager too, but
he is getting. That's an interesting one too, because there's a huge section of people saying, "Hey, you guys were all crying about this guy, and now you've." Right. So
I was talking to one of the guys who we're going to see tonight, and it was just, I couldn't believe it. I actually looked at the standings. I was like, 13 draws. I've never seen that anywhere. I've never seen it. No losses, 13 draws.
And Reg,
what are you talking about
at Juventus?
Oh my God.
You have to win.
Oh yeah. For sure.
There's in the height of Serie A, Juventus has always been top. Like, in terms of the domestic, they are the top in domestic,
of course,
in Italy. Even AC Milan, a little bit more success in Europe. Okay, but it wasn't enough under the Berlusconi era just to win. You had to win with a bit of style,
flair. Yeah,
at Juventus, and this is not a knock. This is, hey, I wish they won 9 Scudettos in a row and 2 Champions League finals. You have to win. There's no they'll trade style points any day of the week, and I actually like that about them. They want to win, and that's it. And I think this is when we talk about Arne Slot being the right guy at the right time. And I thought, I'm not sure when I saw that Thiago Motta, I think Thiago Motta would fit more of some other big teams in Italy. And again, the script is still not written. He still might end up in his journey making sure that Juventus comes back to the top, because they have a lot of great pieces.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, you have to say, a lot of Juve fans are like, okay, we'll go back to that 1-0 grinded out win, because they were wins.
They were winning, yeah, exactly. It might not have been as flashy, but the W's and the 3 points were going in the right column.
And there's a lot of people have let him down too, Thiago Motta. But you're right, Reg. So that's that. If football was an exact science, me and you would be happy every weekend.
Oh well, yeah, buddy. Our teams would win every week. We'd win the trophy every week. We'd win champion. Both of us, our teams would win the Champions League somehow. But I mean, yeah, if it was an exact science, we'd be very, 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 very happy. So let's stay in Serie A, Joe. We were talking this morning, and you had a game at 6:30 a.m., which is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. I mean, I know you don't want to talk about it, but unfortunately, we're going to have to talk about it. And I don't know why you don't want to talk about it. It was a W.
It's a win. So at the end of the day, when you say it's a win, if you look at under it, you say it's a win. Ooh. Okay, so first half was like, first of all, you're playing Parma, with all due respect to Parma, who has some great pieces. If you've watched Dennis Mann, the Romanian international, great player. They had some other really good players as well. Yeah. So all full credit to them. Beat Milan on day 1 of the season. Beat them, right? Or day 1 or 2, beat them. So I've done some damage. First half was unwatchable again by AC Milan. Sergio Conceição, we'll get to him after, has said the way this team comes out, he can't believe that some of the character, that lack of character, he's been that open. First half, they go under. Teo Hernandez slips, falls, just wasn't uninterested. When he's interested, just like Leao, top. Right? When they're not interested,
Passengers.
So they were passengers in the first half. 1-1, Pulisic penalty, 1-1. They come out for the second half, and what's the big deal? Well, Sergio Conceição substitutes Rafa Leao and Teo Hernandez.
Big call.
Yeah, a big call. Clearly, Reggie, a statement. That's clearly a statement.
Well, there's a reason why he did it, and I'm sure you're going to get into it.
Yeah. So, yeah, he sacked them, spoke about it after, saying, yeah, they just weren't playing at the rhythm that was needed. You're watching and you're like, well, the game needs an injection of pace, and your two main, proponents of that are on the bench, right? Most consistent. So your two, we would say, closest to world-class talents are there. Big statement. Again, game was, 88th minute or 81st minute. Parma go ahead. It's 2-1. Long story short, AC Milan does come back in the 92nd minute. Tijani Reinders having a great year.
Great year.
Unbelievable.
Dutch again, eh?
This is gonna be. I know it's gonna be the theme of the show. So that's so there we got it for you. The episode. So anyway, Tijani Reinders scores. Then again at the death, a player who's been rumored to be out the door, which I keep wanting him to do something. And remembering his days in La Liga, Samuel Chukwueze finds the winner. He finds the winner and they win the match. It gets better. At the end of the game, they come to the center of the field, and the captain or former captain, Davide Calabria, and Conceição get in this heated argument. It was something that you probably would see in the dressing room. It's in the public, and apparently it was like they were going at it and talking about, not going out. This is what happens when you guys go out, and like the date before, like really weird. And of course, both parties since said, "Oh, we've cleared it up." But Reggie,
of course,
a manager and a player go at it like that
in the middle of the field,
cleared up.
Yeah, in the middle of the field with all the cameras going. I don't think it's something that's just swept under the rug in 15 minutes.
And Reg, who did AC Milan just sign this past week?
I don't know.
City.
Oh, Kyle Walker.
Right, and does he play right back?
He does.
So this has got to be something that's, So again, though, in a high of the high, this is AC Milan season. High of the high, low, high. Even in that high, we're looking at a valley. So to wake up at 6:30 in the morning, Toronto time, to deal with that, and then it's just this is par for the course with this football team, and that's what I said to you. I enjoy watching your team a lot more than I watching my team. I enjoy watching others more than
you have a stake in your team. That's why you enjoy it, Joe.
That's what it is, right? We can't help it. We wish we didn't feel this way, right? But
that's right.
So again, I guess if we stay in Serie A, but that's up and down. We're going to say something about this, Reggie. About a year ago, even maybe 2 years ago, we were very, very complimentary to a certain manager who was at the time at Porto.
Yep.
And if we roll that tape, we'll see.
We should, because we did mention this years ago. It was more than a year ago, Joe. It was years ago.
Yeah, and how good he was, and then how good his son was. They're both making, right. And I love hearing other shows and other people on social say it now, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah.
Where were you 2 years ago when we were talking about it?
It's just something that we, we laugh about it. But what is our point? Our point is that there's managers, there's players, there's people doing their thing that aren't just right in front of us, right in front of. And look, if you look at it, that's why we have some players pop up on the greatest clubs in the world, and they're scouting, they're doing their homework, right? And sometimes people who do put on these, are on these platforms and so on. It's we call it lazy, right, Reggie? And sometimes you got to look beyond just the obvious and looking at this player, prime this, prime that. We love those comparisons. How about you tell us a bit about, who's going to be next?
Exactly. Who's coming up?
Who's coming up? Like, we all know who's here. Tell me who might be coming over.
And I'm going to give you a pat on the back, because we're going to talk about something later on in the show that's happening with our local professional team. Oh. And you mentioned back again 2-3 years ago, this guy would be perfect to coach our team. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that when we get to the TFC talk. But I just wanted to, before I forget, I wanted to give you a pat on the back, because you mentioned this guy, and now it's come to fruition, and they're still divided on whether it's a good hire or not. But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Close up Serie A, Reggie, quickly, because
yes.
Napoli and Juve played this weekend. Massive match. And
draw?
No, 2-1 Napoli.
Oh, wow.
And here's the thing. So first of all, Juve, great sign. We'll wrap it up really quickly. Juve, great signing, I think. Great signing. Kulumuani, great signing. That is a great signing. And
another striker.
First game, goal.
Yeah.
Randall Kulumuani, who we rate so highly. I really rate him. I think I've given a chance to play regularly. I think he's going to do really well with Juventus. So, but here's Antonio Conte, once again, without any cup obligations, European obligations, with a team in first place.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for that. And I know it wears thin after a while. He's not my cup of tea after a while, but in the here and now, Antonio Conte is a winner. So
couldn't win at Tottenham though, but I don't think it's the coach there. Anyways,
wow, who could win there anyway?
It's tough. It's tough. Fast Genge.
You lost again today, right? Leicester City.
They lost Leicester City today.
You're upset. Yeah, you're
unbelievable. They're awful. Awful football team. But anyways,
we'll move on. But
Dusan Vlahovic, did he play today?
Came on after.
Did he? What did he do?
Not too much. I'm going to leave that. That's because you brought it up. The Thiago Motta thing, and I know we have tons of UA fans tonight that we're going to go see our guys tonight. I'd love to ask them because I cannot believe you were down a goal. And if you watch Juventus, Yildiz is such a good player.
Yeah.
What a good up-and-coming player.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to Ross from Soccer Max as the banner goes underneath. One of the biggest UA fans we know. Great guy. Happy birthday. It was his birthday. Reggie loves birthday shout-outs, by the way. Reggie loves it. But so I was thinking, I said, okay, how Juventus doesn't at least try, because Kulumani can play on the left or right. He can play wide, right? And you can have that. Conceição, Vlahovic, Yildiz maybe underneath. I think that'd be pretty scary. But there's Yildiz coming off.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Juve fans will probably tell me, it's more like this. And yeah, you're right. You guys watch your team more, so I would love to know. But why not try that? And again, goes back to that. Sometimes managers, I don't know, like these are things that, they were doing at their other club, their previous club. He worked wonders at Bologna. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Right. And it was just interesting. So, Reggie, I don't want to, because I mentioned Bologna, I can't. And I said how tough that win was for you. A great win.
Yeah.
You're our guy. Ricky Flowers with a big goal with Carlo Calafiori.
That's the second goal. He scored 2 goals this season, and both of them were very, very, very important. He scored, I believe, the tying goal against City, and then he scored the winning goal against yesterday for us. So he scored 2 goals, and they were extremely important. Thank God for Ricky Flowers.
Yeah.
Fantastic,
handle, isn't it? Anyway.
Fantastic. Well, that's what his name means. You told me, right? Calafiori is a flower or something.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Ricky Flowers. It's fantastic. I was laughing at the birthday thing. Joey Channel cracks me up, and I love it. If he's listening, I love that message, and I approve it. And
yeah,
let's go for it.
Yeah, that's and yeah. So shout out to him, a good friend of ours. You guys know that happened anyway.
Yeah, that message was awesome. So we're right in the midst. We have 5. What is today? The 26th. There's 5 days left in a transfer market and I know we spoke we touched a little bit about Kyle Walker going over to AC Milan in this transfer market. But there's still players out there. There's still teams out there that need certain players. What do we think about this transfer market? I don't see a lot of things happening. I know Juve signed as we spoke about Kolomouani, but I mean,
other teams. Why don't I ask you, Reggie?
Yes.
Why don't I ask you about a team that, for some reason, continues to be allowed to sign?
Hey, Joe, it's ridiculous. What you're talking about is Manchester City. They're actually they have 115 or 130 charges, whatever in between there. FIFA fair play, cooking the books, overstating the money they make so they can sign players. They're actually charged with this. How you're allowed to go into the transfer market and buy players when this is the exact thing that you're being held for 115 charges for? I don't understand how they're allowed to do this. I don't get it. I don't get how you can go in. I don't get how you can go into the transfer market and buy players when you have 115 charges and you're under investigation for doing this exact thing.
It should be until you're cleared.
Exactly.
We've mentioned this a few times throughout our time together on the show.
Yeah.
PSG, Manchester City.
Yeah.
What's happening here? I mean, I said it to you as well.
Barca too.
Barcelona. Oh, gee, Barcelona.
And they're buying players. I don't get it.
I don't get how Dani Olmo is out the door, cannot be there, no chance, no way, can't sign him, we cannot register him with La Liga. We all knew he was going to play. How about this? I'll leave it here. I just really don't. I told you on the phone. I don't understand the rules.
No, I don't get them either. I don't know them either.
And I don't understand an investigation process.
I don't either.
And then when is this going to be finalized? When will there be a conclusion to this? Makes zero sense, and it makes us all wonder, okay, what's really going on here?
Oh, exactly, Joe. That's the question I ask. What is really going on here? When Everton gets fined, the next day you hear about it. When Everton got fined to dock the points or whatever they did.
Deduction or five, come on.
I had to go back and I didn't even know they were under investigation. I had to go back and read what's this about.
And to be fair, even Juventus, right? They did have to. They did get point reduction. They did have to. They had a freeze on their transfer. Why is it not like this for other teams? I mean,
Chelsea too.
I don't understand it. Are there rules? We can joke about rules for other teams, but it clearly seems that there are these delineations between who gets to be, punished and who doesn't.
Very odd, Joe. Very, very odd. I don't know like you said, I don't know the rules.
I don't know.
So I don't know what's involved in an investigation and why it takes 2 years to figure out that these guys are cooking the books. I don't know why it takes so long. I don't know what the punishment can be. I don't know what the punishment will be. But if Manchester City's going into the transfer market now buying players, I have a very good feeling that those charges are just going to go away and it's going to be a $5 million fine and carry on business as usual.
I feel like we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
And we always go back to that. And, watch out. City's in trouble now. And they're not. Better be careful. PSG, no. And like I said, I will say it. And my Juve fans will tell you. They took a beating and they were 8 points down. Then they give them the points back. Then there's this, that. I don't know. It makes zero sense to me.
Ridiculous.
I do
whoever
have a
has
question
the biggest,
for you, Reggie.
whoever has the biggest briefcase with the biggest amount of euros or pounds gets the good stuff. What's up?
Well, I do. Okay, I know we're switching gears, but you've talked about transfers. I want a couple of things. I want to know. Okay, so who do you think your team? What's rumored that you think might be true, and what is just overall some of the craziest, not craziest, but more interesting rumors that you've heard that you're like, oh wow, that sounds interesting for even in any club in general?
They say we need a striker. Okay, if you want to get a true number 9 that's only there to score goals, okay, yeah, every team can use a guy like that. Fine, you want to go out and get him. You're not going to get him in the winter. So I know all the Arsenal fans out there are saying we need a striker. We need a striker. How come you're not doing anything? How come you're not doing anything? You're not going to get a striker in the winter. I don't care what you say. Newcastle's fighting for Champions League spots. They're going to give up their number 1 striker to us. They're not going to do that. I know we're in the market for Benjamin Šeško from Red Bull. They're not going to give up their striker. If Dusan Vlahovic isn't playing at Juve, that's something that might be possible to happen. I know they just signed, like we just talked about, Kolo. So maybe he's available. That's the only one I can really see happening. But the only crazy thing that I've seen really as far as transfer market goings on that is strange to me is that Newcastle wants $150 million for Isak. That's the craziest thing I've seen.
I really like him.
I like him too. 150 million, Joe?
I don't know if I like him that much.
No, I don't like him that much either. But we're looking at it. We're looking at fans of teams now that are just like, who cares about the money? Just go get him. You're not getting him. You're not getting him.
Teams have to. But back to our other point, teams have to be financially responsible. But do they?
But do they? You don't have to be. You can be the LA Dodgers if you want. I don't know.
But you can't mention Newcastle around me anymore because Sandro Tonali is playing out of this world, and I knew he would.
Yeah, I think he's trying to play his way out of there, though. I don't think he wants to be at Newcastle. Honestly,
he can always come home, Reg. But anyhow,
would you guys accept him back?
Accept him would be no problem. Could we afford him now?
Yeah.
Could AC Milan afford what is going to be market value? I don't think so.
I think you're going to have, if something like that were to happen, he would have to force a move out where it's just the team would have to take anything significant in order to get rid of him. Because if he wants to leave, but he'd have to force his way out. I don't see him doing that. But for me, I don't know how you go from living in Milan to going and living in the Geordie Shore. I don't understand it, but hey man, he is playing well. But I think he's trying to play his way out of Newcastle, if you ask me. But no one's asking, so
they should be. The most intriguing one for me that I've heard, I just read this. You love silly season. You call it that. It is.
It's dumb.
It is. It's really silly in the summer, but it's silly enough now because you wake up every morning and you see this that you're scrolling through. Interesting though. Okay, so Napoli sold Kavica Kvaratskhelia.
Oh, yes.
To PSG.
Yes.
For a lot of money.
Yes.
70, 80. Napoli fans will kill me, but something like that. A lot of big money. Then I saw something come up that I said, this makes sense. What? Nico Williams.
Yeah.
Napoli. Nico Williams.
To Napoli?
That would be absolutely incredible. Rumor, massive rumor, probably 4% true. But they'd have the money, definitely have the space. That would be some kind of special, wouldn't it be?
That would be a nice move for
what a coup.
That would be. He was also actually
to Arsenal.
Well, he was linked to Arsenal. I don't know how serious those things are, obviously, right?
But you got to imagine he needs to make a move, doesn't he? I mean,
from Athletic Bilbao, of course he does. He has to make that step up to a bigger team. No disrespect, but he has to make a step up. Whether you think it would be Barcelona, but Barcelona, this whole Dani Olmo thing, I stopped paying attention.
Circus.
It was so stupid.
What a circus!
Yeah. So I stopped paying attention. I didn't even know. Did they end up signing him or?
They found a way, and then he got hurt. The point is, he played. Yeah,
I'm shocked. I'm shocked he found a way to get it done. I'm absolutely shocked about that.
Are we going to move closer to home now, Reg? Are we going to?
Yeah, let's talk about our local team, Toronto FC. What a debacle John Herdman was. I know he's not one of your favorite coaches, Joe. I think he did a good job for TFC for what we needed. I think he did a great job with Team Canada as well. But there always just seems to be something around him that's there's always something around him that's just gonna, it's gonna be a detriment to the team and the country and this, that, and now he has to leave and he's only been here for a year and da 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 da. It's always something, Joe. It's always something.
The only thing I'll say, Reg, is stay tuned.
Yeah.
More to come.
Yeah, really. There's more than what we thought.
Stay tuned. More to come.
Joe, you got to tell me off the air, man.
Yeah, that's just my opinion. Stay tuned. More to come.
Well, the senior women's team manager just she got fired too, right? They just replaced her, right? So everyone's getting a sack over this drone gate. I don't understand it, but again,
we agreed on this though, right, Reggie? We agreed on this. Sorry to cut you. Yeah, and it links into the Robin Fraser hiring. Yeah. Jesse Marsh, we're big fans of that hiring.
I wasn't in the beginning.
Right? Now I am. Now I think you are. I was very happy with it. And not because he was at Leeds, not because he had European experience,
right?
But it's the opposite. And that's why we're happy about Robin Fraser, is because he has MLS and, for Jesse Marsh, CONCACAF experience.
That's most important in this league right now.
And I think when we switch back to TFC, hiring Robin Fraser, in my opinion, I like the hire.
Yeah.
I do.
I believe it's a great hire. And like I said in the beginning of the show, you mentioned this again 2-3 years ago that he would be a great hire for TFC if he ever needed to get a coach. He was on Greg Vanny's staff when we murdered MLS that season. I think he's going to bring back, like you said, he knows the MLS, he knows the players, he knows CONCACAF.
Yeah.
So you're exactly. You're gonna trust him. Exactly. You're gonna trust him that he knows what he's doing within the league.
And Reg, he has a track record. He went to Colorado, not an easy place because you're not getting the big limelight special signings all the time. And he finished first in the Western Conference. I mean,
that's right.
He has pedigree, and he's a professional, right, Reg? He works hard. He talks to people. He communicates. Like you mentioned, he was with he's with TFC in those winning years. And some of the course of there, Jonathan Osario's there and so on. Like that'll be a big help for him too.
Exactly.
I like the hire. I do. And why I'm saying this now, he could have some issues and it doesn't go his way. But I do believe that more coaches who've had a success in MLS and who are from North America, they deserve a lot more credit than they get. If Robin Fraser was from England, from the Netherlands, what a hire.
Yeah.
But he's American. Enough of this. Like, this is so, it's beyond ridiculous that.
Well, we've done all that, Joe. We've done the English guy. We've done the Dutch guy. And where are we?
Like, it's just, he deserves a chance. He's done the work in the region. He knows his things. He's a professional. And good on him. It could not go our way. But guess what? He's also inheriting a lot of issues. He's inheriting number 24 in Lorenzo Insigne, who does not want to be here, who never gave it a fair chance, and is probably on his way out. Hopefully. There's other things, right? If you look at that roster, Reggie, there are holes. We know it. So a little bit of stability, I think, is what we're hoping for with Rob, and a bit of familiarity.
Well, I do nothing but back him. I think he's going to turn this team around for this season, because last season we were what, a playoff, a couple of points away from a playoff spot. I did my rant about that final game at home, which against Messi, which was absolutely an embarrassment to all, should be an embarrassment to all TFC fans that were cheering for Messi and not for TFC. But I think he's going to bring, like you said, stability. He knows the league. I think Jonathan Osorio, captain of the team now, they're going to work well because they have worked in the past together. I believe he's going to change the position of Bernardeschi as well.
Yeah, he was saying that too, yeah.
So I believe, and the one thing, and I hate to say it, Joel, sorry, but Insigne, he's got to go.
There's no Reggie. I couldn't agree with you more. He's just, I think Bernardeschi is trying to give this a chance. He's embraced the city more. Yeah. He's trying and so on. Without being around the situation, it just, from afar, I could be very wrong. It just looks like, an arrogant approach that he took. It was an arrogant approach to being here and being. And I know people don't want to hear this, and we crap on MLS all the time. Not me and you, not a lot of us, or not a few of us, but a lot of people still, that's rubbish. And if you look at the American players, Canadian players, North American players who are making their name in Europe, and maybe they've not played in MLS, but because they've been playing around them in their international scene, what is happening here is a good thing. And so to say that the MLS isn't quite those top European teams and leagues, fair. But to say that it's the gap hasn't closed is ignorant and is wrong, quite frankly. So back to saying that players need a chance in MLS, and so do coaches. Yeah. So do coaches. And when you look at how American, and because there hasn't been a Canadian, but American coaches, how they've been treated abroad and how they get less of a leash, it's unfair. So, and again, Kristen Pulisic talks about that all the time. I hear him talk about things at AC Milan, and he ho-hum has only been probably their best player this year. So, I just think good on Robin Fraser. Let's give him a chance. And again, am I biased because I had a small interaction and so on? Yeah, but he's, from what I hear, people who've been close to him, they're very impressed, and he's a really classy, good guy. How about this? Is it okay to cheer for the good guy once in a while? He's a good guy. He's a good guy in sport.
Should be. We a lot of cheering for the wrong type of people in the world of football. But like I said, we back them. I think change is coming. It's not going to be overnight, but let's just stick with them, because we don't, in this sport, we do not give coaches enough leash to do what they need to do. So hopefully he gets the time to do that. Joel, 45 minutes. 45 minutes.
No injury time, no extra time.
No extra time. We have to be on a field in an hour. So, guys, if you haven't subscribed to our podcast, we're on YouTube. We're on Apple Music. Apple Podcasts. We are on Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Player FM. We are on Amazon Music as well. Obviously, we're on YouTube. It's free to subscribe. I mean, it's the only place you're going to get to hear us, so you might as well just do it. What are you looking forward to this week, Joe?
Champions League, Reggie. Champions League. The spots get and the spots get solidified again. I talked to you off the air. Your team, ho hum, leading the England, Liverpool and the Arsenal leading the line. And could it be that both our clubs finish in the top eight? But Champions League, and then of course the Derby della Madonnina. It's Inter and AC Milan on the weekend. So,
oh wow, what, Saturday, Sunday? Which day?
I have to check, but I believe. I mean, you'd have to see that Inter is raring for that one after losing in the Super Cup. So it's big with Champions League, Reggie. Always looking forward to Champions League. It's the most exciting football that I watch. So
it's my favorite too. My favorite tournament.
That game, Reggie, is on February 2nd. I believe that's Sunday.
That's Sunday. Oh, there's two big games on Sunday because Arsenal take on City on Sunday as well. So nice day of football before we play football. So excellent. So guys, again, Football Weekly Podcast for Joe. I'm Reginald Dino. Take care. We'll catch you next week.